Across Europe, something is changing. Cities are becoming more diverse. Languages mix in the streets. New cultures appear alongside old traditions. For some, this is a sign of growth. For others, it raises questions. Questions about identity, culture, and what the future might look like. In recent years, immigration has become one of the most debated topics in Europe, not only about economics or policy, but about something deeper: the fear that changes could go too far. Europe has always been shaped by movement. Empires rose and fell, borders shifted, people migrated by choice or by force. But modern immigration, especially since the early 2000s, and during events like the European migrant crisis, has sparked new attention to how quickly societies can change. Millions of people have arrived from regions such as the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, often fleeing war, instability, or economic hardship. They bring with them languages, religions, and traditions that may be very different from those historically dominant in Europe. One of the most common concerns raised in public debate is not just about numbers, but about identity. Some people worry that large-scale immigration could gradually change the cultural balance of a country, that over time traditional languages might be spoken less, that religious practices might shift, that familiar customs could fade. This concern is sometimes described in strong terms, as if one culture might replace another. But reality is usually more complex. Cultures rarely disappeared overnight. Instead, they evolve, influenced by both existing traditions and new arrivals. In most European countries, immigrants still make up a minority of the population. Even in countries with higher immigration, long-established cultural, linguistic, and legal systems remain dominant. Languages like French, German, or Latvian are still the primary languages of government, education, and public life. Religious landscapes are changing slowly, but not uniformly. In many places, diversity is increasing, rather than one group fully replacing another. Demographic change does happen, but it tends to be gradual and uneven, not sudden or absolute. A key factor is how immigration shapes society is integration. When newcomers learn the local language, participate in education and work, and interact with wider society, cultures tend to blend over time. But when communities remain isolated, socially or economically, divisions can grow. This is where tension often appears. Not simply because of difference, but because of lack of connection. Successful integration policies, education, employment, community programs play a major role in shaping outcomes. Immigration is not just a social issue, it is also a political one. Different groups interpret the same changes in very different ways. Some see opportunity, economic growth, cultural richness, global connection. Others see risk, pressure on services, loss of identity, social fragmentation. Media, political messaging, and personal experiences all shape how people perceive immigration. And sometimes fear can grow faster than actual changes. At its core, the debate is about balance. How can societies remain open while also preserving what makes them unique? How can countries support newcomers while maintaining social balance? These are not simple questions, and there are no single answers that apply everywhere. Different countries in Europe are trying different approaches, with varying results. Behind every statistic is a human story, a person leaving their home, a family starting over, a community adjusting to change. Immigration is not just a policy issue, it is a human experience for both those arriving and those already living there. Understanding that complexity is important, because simple explanations on either side rarely capture the full picture. Europe is changing, as it always has. The question is not whatever change will happen, but how it will be understood, managed, and lived. Will differences create division or lead to something new? The answer depends not only on policies, but on people, on how societies respond to change, and on whether fear or understanding shapes the future. Because in the end, the story of immigration is not just about who arrives, it is about how we choose to live together.